Can I learn how to knit in 1 week? Let's find out. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name's Jess. Thank you so much for coming back here today. I'm very excited because something that I've always wanted to do, and that is learn how to knit. I've tried and failed so many times over the years, and last week I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to give it my all and see what happens, document the process. I have such an admiration, love and respect for people who know how to knit. I personally find it very complicated, but I know I could do it and I'm just very determined. Bought some circular needles, and a lot of people talk about using circular needles. I have the straight ones, I guess they're called, but the circular needles are for knitting in the round, if you didn't know. Also, I have a lot of wool, so much wool. I have a big yarn stash, but I bought these circular needles from Hobbi, I think it is, and they've bowed me really well. I just bought the beginner set, so those are the materials I was working with. So on day one, I wanted to consume as much content as physically possible. I watch a lot of crochet and knit YouTubers. I consume a lot of that content because it's like a special interest of mine, and I watch a lot of people anyway. But I found a video by someone called Handmade by Florence, and the knit and crochet world is very big. There's a lot of different things that go on there, and the more I was looking into Handmade by Florence's videos on like TikTok and stuff, I realized how big of an impact this person has had on beginner knitters. And you can tell already by like how many views the video has, but I think it's like an hour or two long step-by-step video on how to make a jumper. But at the start of the video, she talks about how to do each of the stitches and how to like construct things and just the basics basically. The way she just explained things really resonated with me, and I was able to pick things up quicker that way. So I owe Handmade by Florence everything for this week. So I sat and watched her whole video. I didn't pick up the needles, I didn't pick up any wool, I just sat and I watched, and I was trying to take it in. I didn't make any notes because I'm more of a visual learner, so watching a lot of videos for me really helps. So I sat and I watched the video, I watched some other people. I already follow Cinemaknits on YouTube. I really love her videos, even though she does a lot of videos about knitting and I don't know how to knit. I just really enjoy her content and I love to see what she makes. Like I said, I've got a big respect and love for people who can knit things because I think knitted garments are absolutely beautiful, and I kind of prefer the look of them compared to crochet. I don't know if that's bad to say, it's just a personal preference. Day 2, phase 2, I decided to pick up the needles and just go for it. I was ready. I felt like I was ready. So in this, I was kind of like making a sample swatch, changing colors and just practicing. Again, Handmade by Florence came in to clutch. Her video taught me how to cast on, how to knit, how to purl, and then essentially how to make a stockinette stitch. All the things I didn't know how to do before. So when I've tried to knit in the past, my mum's tried to teach me, I had no idea about there being a wrong side and a right side, where essentially when you're working the row, you flip it over and then you continue to work the other side. I thought it was all just knit stitches. I had no idea about purl stitching, because knit stitching is when you go in through the front, and then purl is when you're going through the back, and then you move your thread in the front and the back, which sounds really complicated, but now I understand how to do it. It just makes so much more sense. So once I learned how to do that, I was away and I was able to make a stockinette stitch, which is just repeat rows of knitting and purling. Love that. Also, how to cast on. I think that was what I was most scared of, because when I tried in the past, I just couldn't understand how you cast it on. I'm gonna keep referring to crochet in this as well, because that is like my reference. That's all I know. And obviously crochet is just one needle or one hook, and then knitting is 2 needles. So like the way I was holding my hands, I'm still not very good at. It was just trying to like rewire my brain. And the casting on process is just funny because it's like you have to hold your hands and the thread in a certain way, but once I kind of understood it, it made a lot more sense. So I learned how to do the long tail cast on, but now I know there are so many different types of ways of casting on. I still don't fully understand, but I'm happy with knowing just the long tail cast on for now, because I'm still a very beginner and it's helped me a lot just to doing like sample swatches. But yeah, I think something I struggled with a lot when I first started on day 1 was looking at what the stitches look like. I know now, knitting and purling, with the knit stitch, it's flat and it's like a V shape, kind of like crochet. And then with the purl stitch, because you're moving the thread to the back, you'll have like a little bump on it. So I can see that now a lot better than when I first started, because I was like, I don't know, I can't understand how this looks. I can't understand how it works. But the more I was doing it, the more I was understanding what it was meant to look like. With crochet and knit, you should be doing gauge and test swatches before you start a project so you know the sizing. Honestly, I've never done a gauge swatch with crochet. Now I'm like learning more about the differences and similarities of them both. I don't think it's as important with crochet, but with knit it's super important. That's what everyone has been saying when I've been watching the videos. It's so important to do a gauge swatch when knitting. So that is something I'm trying to remember to do before I make a garment at some point. I really want to. That's what my end goal is, to be able to make a jumper and a top. That is what I really would love to do. But I know it's very important to do the sample swatches. So as much as I wanted to jump into a project, I was finishing that sample swatch like my life depended on it. Come day 3 and day 4, I was learning ribbing again from the same video. Oh my God, I'm still very confused by ribbing. I can't lie. I have big issues with it because of the concept of the right side and the wrong side. I seem to like be able to do a few rows and then I just kind of mess up. You'll see in the clips I'll show, you can very clearly see like where I've done the stockinette stitch. I go onto the ribbing and then the last row looks wrong and I just can't seem to figure out, like maybe I'm not concentrating enough. I don't have the capacity to be able to watch something or talk and knit at the same time because I keep losing my place and where I am. And I know stitch markers are equally important in knitting as they are in crochet. I don't quite understand that concept yet though of how I use it in knitting and how I know which side is the right side and the wrong side, because in my head they're kind of the same. Me and ribbing are not best friends yet, but hopefully we will be soon. I just need to keep practicing it because I find it, I understand the concept of it, but actually doing it I find really complicated and I can't seem to do it without messing up yet, but we'll get there. And then casting off, I found it really easy. I thought it was going to be really complicated, but after watching the video a few times, I found that really, really easy. But as she said in the video, there are different ways of casting off as well. So that's something I'm loving about knitting so far. There's just so many different ways to do everything. And like, it's just so clever. My brain just can't comprehend how clever it is. There's just so many things to learn and so many things. Like, I'm just really excited, if you couldn't tell. I'm just so excited because this is something I've always wanted to do. And yeah, I'm just excited to learn a new hobby because my hobbies and my special interests, like outside of work, mean a lot to me. And I'm a very creative person. Like my job is creative, but it's more of like a digital landscape creative rather than like fiber and like doing things with my hands. I just makes me feel really good. Like crochet helps a lot with my anxiety, and I think knitting does as well, just to take my mind off things. And then at the end you can be like, I literally just made this garment from this ball of wool. Like my brain just can't comprehend how amazing that is and how skillful people are in like making things. Day 5 and 6, start the scarf. I was very ahead of myself, some may say. I figured like, oh, I've done the sample swatch. I understand all the different or the basic couple of stitches. Maybe it's time now to find a pattern and make the scarf that I want to make. I wanted to make one of those skinny stripy scarves that are quite popular because I'm going to Amsterdam for my birthday in a couple weeks and I wanted to wear it. So that was the end goal of this. So I thought I'd found a pattern by someone called Petiteknit, and I know they are very, very popular. I always get like content about them coming up on my TikTok, and they've got loads and loads of patterns that are very, very good. They all look incredible, and I thought, great, okay, I found a pattern. It was a free pattern for a stripy skinny scarf. Let's go. So when I opened up the pattern, it said, do an Italian cast on, was it rows of pearls and knit, something like that. Don't quote me on that. I'll leave the link in the description though if you want to follow it. So I did a long tail cast on instead of an Italian cast on because I was like, how hard could it be? It must be the same thing. And then I just kept I had to defrog it. I've defrogged it at this point maybe like 4 or 5 times. I figured, right, okay, I'm gonna just learn how to do an Italian cast on. How hard can it be? I was watching a lot of videos. I finally figured out by watching the video, it's a lot of different movement. I found it very complicated, but I'm hoping in some point in the future I won't find it as complicated. So I got to the point where I've done my 33 cast-ons, Italian cast-ons, and then I started it, and then I just kept dropping stitches, and then I ended up giving up because I tried to do it over the course of like a day or two, and I just couldn't do it. And I was like, I've just gone so ahead of myself here. I think I can read knitting patterns, which are like crochet patterns but different, and I was trying to do something that was above my head that I couldn't do yet. I think that's probably something I'm really struggling with right now, is just starting the project. I'm fine with casting on, but the first few rows, just like crochet, are probably the most important rows. But when I'm in the groove of it, like with my sample swatch, I was fine. I wasn't making any mistakes. It's just the starting off the project I get quite confused about. And I'd like to be able to like show someone and be like, am I doing this right? I don't know. I was like, right, let's take it back, because we got ahead of ourselves here. And by day 7, I found a different pattern for a scarf on YouTube where I could actually sit and watch the video. And yeah, that kind of brings us up to right now. And where am I right now? This is where I'm at right now on my scarf. It's just a few rows. I'm at a starting point now where I have a good level of understanding of a few of the stitches, how to cast on. Like, I'm not gonna see this as a fail because we did really well, I think. And I'm happy with it. But yeah, I don't know why for some reason I thought by the end of this I'd have like something to show, but like it's a long process, same as crochet. It's gonna take me a while to make something, and that is the beauty of making your own clothes and your own accessories. Like it's slow fashion, it's sustainable, it's gonna take a while. I'm very happy that I did this kind of challenge because I feel a lot more confident now. Picking up a new skill can be really difficult, and it's hard not to get discouraged when you're not really good at something straight away. And all of this week, I just kept reminding myself, it took me many years to perfect crocheting. I'm still not perfect. I still don't know everything. But what it did teach me is that whenever I'm going to learn a new skill next, is I really want to understand every part of it. I want to know all the moving parts. I want to understand why I'm doing certain things, because when I first learned to crochet, I just went all in. As soon as I could do a few stitches, I was like, right, I'm gonna make a jumper. I still feel like I missed out on the certain like basics and the basic level of understanding of stitching. Here are some of the patterns I would like to make in the future once I've got my knitting down. So Meganfaithmakes is a designer I've been following for many years. She does crochet and knit. So this is the pattern that I've been wanting to make forever. I think this is what started off the reason why I wanted to start knitting, is her checkerboard vest. It is absolutely gorgeous and something I would 100% wear. It has the beautiful ribbing, the beautiful checkerboard. Like, I just really want to make it. I want to make it so much. I cannot wait to make it one day. I'm so excited, but I've had that saved for a long time. Another pattern by Megan is the Homestead sweater, and you'll see the photo of it, but how absolutely unbelievably gorgeous is this? Like, that is the goal I want to make someday, like something just so beautiful like that. It's just so special, and every time I see something someone has knit, I'm just like, you're so great. You're so talented. I hope you're so proud of yourself. There's a couple more Petiteknit patterns, the Olga jumper and cardigan. That's actually going quite viral right now. I've been seeing a lot of people posting about making it, but I love it. I think it's just a simple, lovely piece of clothing that will go exactly into my wardrobe. That's something as well I want to focus on with knitting. With crochet, like I said, I went all in. I was making things with colors that didn't go into my wardrobe, and they just kind of like, I kind of just saw them as like pieces of art. Maybe I don't wear all of them, but like, I'm really proud. I feel like this week was a success. Maybe I don't have something amazing to show for it right now, but I will. This is just the start of my journey, and maybe I'll keep documenting this because it's something I'm really passionate about. This is the first kind of video I've done like this on my channel. I did used to have a crochet channel. It's still up, where I'd post like videos and tutorials and I'd talk about my projects. But yeah, this is something I'm really excited about, and this is just the start, guys. If you have any knitting tips for me, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. Or if you have any other like resource you can send me, I would absolutely love that. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did like it, please subscribe. I would absolutely love that. And I will see you all very soon. Bye bye.